What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Jay. My episode 7 Lovecraft Country. I'm about to explain it live, and man, it was a lot that went down in the contract. Okay, and Montrose is a mess. Okay, and Tick finally found out. I don't think that Montrose is his daddy. I said that in another episode before, and I really think so. And we gonna see how it work out. I'm about to explain it. First, what I'm gonna do is recap the episode, go over the episode, explain what happened. Then I'm gonna give my real talk review, and lastly, I'm gonna give it a Moscow. Now I'm gonna answer some questions and try to, keep you guys involved while I go through it. So before I get started, thank you, Support Gaming, for coming through. You've been a loyal fan and supporter of the channel. You always got my back, and I appreciate you, brother. Rem Rock, you love this show. I like this show a lot too, man. It's very interesting. And what I like about it is how they mix real situations and real, life with the occult and with a little supernatural and stuff. It's like a really weird blend that actually works when it comes together. And J.J. Abrams and Jordan Peele have become a very good combination, good team. I would like to see them work together on more projects. I can see the Jordan Peele storyline and then the J.J. Abrams special effects. They are working together perfect. And I really like this show. It's unfortunate more people aren't watching it and talking about it, but it is what it is. Cash Money, another loyal supporter of the channel. I appreciate all your support. You say Rim Rock, it's a mix between history and sci-fi, which is a good way to explain it. It talks about a lot of true history and what Black folks had to go through, and part of the reason why we in the situation we in now. People ignore that, how the Black folks was prevented from creating wealth by buying homes in certain areas, and how all the different things they had to go through with sundown towns, and the list goes on and on. And I'm glad that they talk about it in the show. Now I'm about to recap the episode. So when the episode 7 kick off, we see it's a lot of notes on the table, and we see Hippolyta is messing with the orrery, and so she's staring at it or whatever. Then we see something pop up talking about 3 days ago, and so we see that she had destroyed the house, and she had burned the wood, and she frustrated with the orrery, so D telling her to let it go or whatever about Pop's death, and she ended up finding the comic. She lay it on the bed and saying sorry or whatever, thinking about Uncle George. And then while she laying on the bed, she stare at the orrery sideways. And then she talking to herself because, she was already into astronomy and things from previous episodes. And so they tilted on this axis, and next thing you know, it's working. And then it opens up, and it was a key inside of it. So she take the key, and it said something on the base. I didn't get to fully see what it said, but next thing you know, we see that there's blood in the body or whatever. And we see that Ruby, show up. It's the white girl, whatever. Ruby show up and is telling Christina that she was lying or whatever. And this is like right after episode 6, when Christina revealed to Ruby that she was actually William too. And so we see them downstairs talking, and the white lady is there with looking half dead with some type of stuff getting pumped in out of her, and so was William. And she said, Ruby say she want to know everything about what's going on. And she said, well, William was killed, and that she basically wanted to get revenge for William, and that she didn't tell her dad, about he was the leader of the order, and she wanted him to teach her about what was going on, but because she was a woman, nobody would teach her. So what she ended up doing was have William teach her about the order and all of this mysticism and occult practices. And then she decided to do more and learn more, and she showed William that potion. And Ruby said that she wanted to know everything about what's going on now. And she said that the truth has your family in lost pages of the book of names involved. And so now Ruby is wondering, like, what in the world is going on? And so then next, we see Letty burning in the fire, the same fire that we saw Tick running from in that house. And we saw that the lady that used to work there carrying the book, and Tick followed her. Well, this time Letty is running and see her, but Letty having some type of belly pains or something. She wake up grabbing her belly, which I think Tick probably got her pregnant, but I wouldn't be surprised if a little goblin or something come up out of her. Nevertheless, Tick been downstairs up all night. Letty come down talking to him. They start to kiss. He holding her, and he was saying, that he translated half of the pages already from the book of names, and that it had symbols or whatever, and that he know that the others that died or whatever that was trying to do it. And so Letty says that she know the girl when she was running out of the house or whatever. The girl ran out front. And so, Tick, he like, well, how you know? He stopped her before she said, and they had the same dream. And so they starting to wonder and get a little confused because they both got the same dream, same visions going on, which is weird. And so then we say, because that woman that they saw holding the book with that fire, her name was Hannah. And they say maybe Hannah is trying to tell them something. And so Letty says, well, Hannah had the book in her hands when she ran. And Tick like, yeah, that's the book of names. And so Tick didn't know nothing about his mama's side, which is where Hannah come from, his mama's side. And so Letty was asking them about it or whatever. And then they was talking about, Christina is coming for the pages. She's trying to find those missing pages. And he like, yeah, she want to put the whole book back together. And so he kind of getting a little idea of what Christina is really up to. Now, next thing you know, we see old Montrose playing house with Sammy. And it's in the morning. He got his shirt open or whatever. Sammy up in there whipping them eggs. He gave him a good night. So he trying to make him a nice hearty breakfast. And so you see him in there whipping them eggs or whatever. And he like, yeah, I normally don't let you sleep over. And that was his first little sleepover at Montrose's house. And so he's talking about how he had went to the store and saw a woman going to Marshall Fields, worked there. And he was like, Montrose was like, yeah, well, that was my neighbor or whatever. And so it's just making a little small talk, but I'm wondering, was he talking about Ruby? Or no, they talking about that girl that was working at Marshall Fields that Ruby was talking to. Anyway, Sammy has some bacon or whatever to go with it. And Montrose like, man, this bacon, I don't eat no pork. And so he like, okay, don't eat it. He like, man, these grits ain't right. He said, man, what you gonna find to argue with now? With the coffee too wet? He like, man, ain't no sugar. I'm sweet enough, okay? So then they start to argue or whatever, and Sammy walking out the door to leave, and Montrose grab him by the arm like, Sammy, don't go. I'm sorry. And right when he was doing that, Tick and Letty was in the hallway and saw it. And back then, like, being gay was nothing like it is today. And so Sammy, embarrassed, he know that it's about to be a tight conversation between Tick and Montrose. And so Tick come to him. He like, so it's true. It is true. You he called him the F word. Need to wet my whistle. Been talking too long. Anyway, he said, "You better respect me, boy. I'm still your daddy." And he said, "Don't call me out my name." And so Tick like, "Did mama know?" And he like, "Yeah." So that's another reason I think he not Tick father and Uncle George was, because maybe the mama was just looking out for him as a friend to help him stay in the closet. Anyway, Tick is mad. He upset. He leave. Montrose crying, and he like asked Letty, "Why y'all come here?" And so Tick, we see mad outside. Letty come down. It's kind of hard. She don't know what to tell him in this situation. So she just tell him, "Hey, I asked him about your mama family, and this is what he said." Basically trying to get his mind off of it, change the subject. And so then Tick like, "Man," he said he had to whip me not to be soft. And he like basically thinking, you trying to whip me not to be soft, and you the one that was soft trying to beat it out of me. And so he said it wasn't about me. He noted now it was about him, and probably a lot of self-hate. And so next thing you know, we see Ruby talking with Hippolyta, and Hippolyta mad about this little checklist that she got to get. And so Ruby see Letty, and she walk away. When Ruby see Letty, she don't want to talk with her still. She mad. And Tick asks if he could borrow Woody from Hippolyta, but she kind of snap on him. And like she real quick, like, "No, I'm about to use it. I got to do this, that, and the other." And he tried to say something about what Uncle George said, and she wasn't trying to hear it. She just pulled off on his ass. And so he was looking stupid. He like, "Well, it look like we gonna be on the bus." And so they all the way on the bus going to St. Louis. And he say that she can talk to her sister, and they packing. So he packing. He tell her to go talk with her sister or whatever. Letty asks her sister where she been staying, and Ruby like, "How long did it take before you cared where I was staying?" And she say, "Look," Letty say, "Look, things got away. I understand. I was wrong." And she said the last fight they had was her fault. And she's like, "I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to do this or that, like mama or whatever." And she was trying to say she was sorry for trying to hustle her. And Ruby like, "Well, you know what? Maybe you not like mama, because mama ain't never apologized in her whole life. You might be all right. Y'all ain't exactly the same." And so later we see Hippolyta, and she driving Woody all by herself singing. And then we see a bike come on her side, and that was actually, I can't remember her name, but she's real. That woman drove cross country, first black woman during that time period as well. Used to ride her motorcycle cross country, and it's a motorcycle club to this day that still follows her footsteps of all black women motorcycle riders. Jay Leno actually did an episode on Jay's Garage about her. I want to say her name is Bessie something, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me. Nevertheless, she's real, and she rolled past. And then while she's in the car, she see D Comic, and she start to look. They in St. Louis. Tick and Letty, they get off the bus. And Tick got off the bus. Letty didn't go with him. And so then we see he asks how she know his cuz. And they've been married for 30 years. And she said Ethel was close to his mama people. So we see Letty talking with this older lady. And then we see, well, Tick talking with this older lady, rather, from his family. And then he asked her about the book of names, and she said, well, she don't know nothing about that, and maybe they may have had it, but white folks burned everything down in a massacre and in Mayfield. And so then we see that Hippolyta pull up at this like dome or whatever, and it looked like a observatory that she went to, and she been following this map that Uncle George had wrote stuff in. And so we see Dee playing cards back at home with Letty, and then Letty go and check on dinner. And while she doing that, Ruby was saying, that what you call it was on the north side. Ruby was staying on the north side. And Letty say, you on the north side with a white man? And Ruby say, don't worry about who I'm with. What's up with you and your man Tick? I see him here all the time. I know he ain't paying no rent. I bet he real handy with that screwdriver. What, he got a power drill? But anyway, Ruby asked where they was about to go. And she say, when I saw y'all look like y'all was about to go somewhere. Let me get a little agua, y'all. Bear with me. Chris P, I see your comment. Yes, that was a real motorcycle woman. She actually did that. If you I'm trying to remember her name. Jay Leno got an episode, I think season 1 on Jay's Garage, like episode 3 or something. He got the women. He even rides with the motorcycle club that pays homage to her, and they follow her route. And you got to keep in mind, she was a woman, black, during the time of segregation. Like, that was so dangerous. Anything could have happened to her, and she did it a couple times. Like, she was real, and her story should be more well known. Anyway, back to the recap. So we see that Ruby has her taste for food. She tastes the food and give it to Letty. And Letty tastes it, and she like, ooh, was that garlic in there? And she like running her stomach and go run in her room. And while she run in the room, she see the orrery. And while she doing that, she that we see back at where Tick is, the older lady from his family is showing him pictures and stuff. And then he see a mark on somebody, and then he check in the mirror, I guess, to see the mark. I kind of was lost on that part. I need to re-examine it. But Letty end up calling him, and she tell him that she think Hippolyta is in danger because she saw the orrery. And then while she talking to Tick about what's going on, Ruby looking through the crack of the door and see her talking. And so Hippolyta is at this old observatory while all this is going on. Excuses me. She uses the key that she got out of the orrery, puts it into the machine at the observatory, but it's no power. It's not working. She begins to type stuff, bang on it, and next thing you know, it start tweaking out or whatever. And then she make turn it something on there. The dates begin to start flipping. It begins to start working. And then, it's like a rotation, mad rotation, mass versus rotation, velocity, radius. She like thinking in her head out loud about, a formula to get it to work. She like doing homework or something. And then she like try new things to get it to work. And then she hears some people coming. So we see it's 2 little white cops. So she hide, and they looking around, and then they ended up finding her. And they ask who she is, and they pull out the gun on her. And then next thing you know, Tick show up. I don't know how he got there that fast, but he shows up, and then the cop hit her. Like, that was crazy. And then while they fighting and stuff, the machine gets hit, and then it starts working. The machine start working, and it come on. Tick in the fight with one of the cops, throw him in this like it looked like behind them all kind of like different scenes of the world or whatever going through time, and Tick threw the cop in there, so he got like absorbed or something in there. And so then another cop was about to shoot him or something, and she shot the cop. And so the cop laying there dead, and then her and Tick is sitting there talking, thinking what they gonna do. Next thing you know, she gets sucked into like the portal, the black hole too. And so next thing you know, we see she's in like the future, like some old Bill and Ted type future. They got this, it's like a wasteland, but then they like in space. And then you see like this glowy thing and robots. lights, and then it's like lots of numbers everywhere, and then you see that she butt booty naked waking up, which she was looking pretty good. I like that. Anyway, she was sexy, and next thing you know, she got some type of chip in her arm, like she got the mark of the beast now. And so then she gets some type of suit and throw it on, and she try to leave, but it's like a force field she can't get through. And the room is all white. Then you see this black woman walk in like with some old, robotic suit, and she got like this humongous afro going sideways and stuff, and she talking to her, and she like, well, who are you? That's where Hippolyta asked her, who are you? And she like, I am, which in the Bible, they asked God, he said, I am who I am, what I am that I am. And I guess they took that line from that. Anyway, she's saying, you can't keep me here, let me go. And then the Afro, Super Fro, was like, you are not in prison. And then her arm bleeding or whatever. And then you see like she like tweaking out, going crazy, like time is passing. I guess we don't know how much time has passed, but they go in like a montage of her tweaking out and time passing. We don't know how much. She didn't eat no food or nothing or use the bathroom, so we don't know how much time passed. Anyway, she in there thinking to herself, am I in the comic? And she like, next thing you know, after doing all that searching, she end up getting like this metal piece, and she takes off a tile off the wall, and it began to like float. And then she like kind of like is in a puzzle or something. She start doing math and use that tool and unplug the cord, and next thing you know, Super Fro come in and zap her ass, and she back laid out. And then she kind of charge again, and then the force field stop her, and she like, let me go. And this is crazy because like this is like way in the future, and they even got like a date at the bottom with like 20 numbers or something, so you don't know what time this is or where. And then they like, you are not in a prison. And then they say, where do you want to be, and name it. And so then she say she want to be with Josephine Baker dancing on stage. Next thing you know, she in Paris in the outfit. They like zapped her ass there, and now she's shocked. She on stage, Josephine Baker, all the dancers dancing, looking good, and she off step. She don't know what the hell she doing, and the dancers are snapping on her. What did you do? You pay attention. You do it, the move wrong. Chupa, good, chupa. And so then you see all the women go topless. That's one of the things Josephine Baker was famous for, and they all show them tickle bitties, but she ain't pull out her tatas, which I was, upset about. Nevertheless, we see all the girls mad at her backstage, and they telling her, hey, get it together, you messing up, whatever. They hating on her. But Josephine Baker come and she talk with her, and she cool, and she end up helping her with her steps or whatever. And then we see that she thought she was about to go back to her dressing room with her, but she didn't close the door on her ass like, no, we ain't buddies yet. So we see, I guess time is passing again because it got all those numbers down at the bottom. And then we see that she been practicing. She done got good now, and she having fun, dancing with everybody. She chilling in the bar with Josephine, smoking, drinking. We see days pass by. She cool. They becoming friends. She end up meeting a guy there or whatever. And then while talking to Josephine, she give a match to her, and she says that she a star. And she says that she don't feel like it, Josephine Baker. And she said most girls don't notice when I'm like this, because she picked up on Josephine was a little sad. And she said, it's all good. They start smoking past the Dolce on the left hand side. So they smoking the bliggity, they getting blazed. And then she says that she tasting freedom for the first time. That's what Hippolyta says. And then she says that she was the Negro woman that white folks always wanted her to be, and she hated herself for that. And she said it made her furious because she said she wanted to be strong, but whenever that happened, she didn't feel strong, and it made her want to even kill white folks. I'm like, wow, she really is mad. And so then she said that she hate herself for letting them make her feel small. She said she felt small um, as a person back where she was. And she asked, you know, who else? Josephine asked her, who else does she hate? And then she screamed, I am Hippolyta. And then next thing you know, she's in the fight in the middle of Africa. And she like training some like Amazon women warriors or whatever. And next thing you know, the trainer that's training her punched her in the mouth, gave her a quick mouth shot. Bah! So she laid out. And the trainer is talking about what the whole women group needs to do and what they're going to be expecting. And then, Hippolyta get up, try to attack her again, and she gets, beat down. The trainer talk about true freedom and then tell her to get up in the fight. And so then she fight again. Of course, she lose. Then we see all the numbers at the bottom of the screen again, which indicates a lot of days are passing by. And then we see that Hippolyta's getting better and that she actually know how to fight. She done beat the trainer, and she sees the queen that was watching the whole, ordeal. And the queen give her like a headrest, and she happy. We see days pass again, and then we see that she the leader of some type of squad that she about to lead in the battle. And we see it's against all white men, like soldiers or something. And so she a beast. She like killing people like she was the Rock or something. And so she, gave a dude a nut chop, chopping off heads, all kind of stuff. And the thing is, though, she only had a small squad of soldiers. So after everybody regrouped, she started, giving the speech to the little small squad and telling them, the rage, they said, was not ladylike, but she's there to let them know that, what it's like to be free. And that's what they all about. And they all get hyped, and then they like charge behind her. But we see that the people, the people she fighting pretty much annihilated them, and she was killed, and it was all over. But then she like gets a new life. And then we see that she's actually back home in the bed with Uncle George, like the first episode. And she talked to him about the main worlds theory, that what she's going through, and that she could be any world and anything she want to be. And he like, well, I mean, is this real? Are you here right now? And she say, it feels real. And, he say, well, after all you could be and all you wanted, you came back here to be my wife. And then next thing you know, he shouldn't have said it back, because she got up, and then he say, what's wrong? And she say, she finally got a name for what's been eating at her all her life. And she started to get angry. She done came back in time to her husband to argue with him, and he dead. Like, that's typical black woman thing. I still love my sisters, but only my sisters will go back in time to argue with you about some stuff you did. Anyway, she was talking about how she was shrinking and how she felt small when they met. And she said that she even shrank more as a person being with him. And he like, well, I didn't realize that. I thought that, everything was all right. And he said he was sorry. He got to apologize even though he did. But he said he see her now, and, he want her to be as big as she want to be. And she say, she gonna be Hippolyta the Discoverer, I guess, like Dora the Explorer. And so then they hold hands and start glowing. And then next thing you know, they in space now. But it's crazy because their vision of space looks like what people would have thought space would have been like in the 60s or whatever, in the 50s, with the spaceship and the space suits. It looked modern, but it looked old design. Like it was kind of unique. They both together. She brought him with her, and then we see that they got some type of, they get out the old school spaceship. Of course, it's a one-eyed being right there, and they begin to study stuff, and then she making dust float and stuff, and then in the background, they talking about, blacks is a myth or whatever. Somebody is talking. I think that's Langston Hughes reading a poem about that in the background while the scene is going on. And we see that she in space, and she says she got some quilts or something to do. And then Super Fro say, no, she named herself. And she could stay, but she don't need, the thing on her wrist no more. And so she can go back to Earth. That's what Super Fro tell her. And so she thinking about it, considering it, but she don't want to leave her daughter D behind. And one thing that was messed up, and I'll tell you about it, she was reading that comic of D's. And then after all that stuff that happened with the police, they left it behind, and her name is on it. Anyway, she was saying she felt small at home, and even though she didn't want to go through that, that's something she gonna have to probably do. And so next thing you know, we see Tick come, and then the machines stop, and he say, he calling for Aunt Hippolyta, and we see that he got the Lovecraft book now. And next thing you know, we hear the cops, and he take the key out and run. Hippolyta didn't come back out of it yet, though, so he don't know where she is or what's going on. And again, that dead cop that she shot was there on the floor with the comic D made with her name on it. And then we see in the next episode that the cops are giving them hell and harassing them. So they must have found that comic with her name all over it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get to some of these comments you guys have given. Give it, my more score, give it the most score, and then I'm going to be up out of here. All right, let me get to some of these comments. Let's see. Y'all talking about power still? Let's see. Skip Johnson. What's up, Skip? Thanks for watching on Twitch. I appreciate your support. Let me see. Get to some more of these comments. You love Lovecraft Country off the chain. That's what's up, Lord Bison. It is good. Chris P, I can't believe we in the home stretch. Lovecraft, has it been renewed for a second season? As of now, I haven't seen anything about it. Let me check. But yeah, it is sad that it's only 3 episodes left. This was a very good show, very interesting, different than everything else on TV to a certain extent. But I really enjoyed the show. As of now, there is no second season. And I hope it's not a show like The Watchmen, where they pretty much covered everything in one season and it wasn't no way to get a second season. But, we'll see. Chris P, I give Anjanae else credit for showing her real body. She not a 00 in need of Sonic sandwich. That's true. Hey, I like women with some meat on their bones. Like, I like little meat, little thickness, little something to grab and squeeze. And, she got a real woman body. She was looking good. And so we'll see. Chris P, seeing William as a corpse on that table was jarring. That was crazy. Like, how is she shedding his body, but then got his body downstairs? He like a zombie. I don't know. It was interesting, crazy. And, This episode, this show is something else. Letty is pregnant with a little tick. She got a little tickling. And I believe so. And I think that it's going to be something up with that baby because it's giving us so much pain. I think that maybe they're going to try to do some type of ceremony or something, or the baby growing faster than it should, or it's part of the occult or something. But I think something going to be up with that baby. Marcus Miller, what's up? Appreciate you stopping by. Montrose in love. Sammy, don't go. I need some more of that eggs and sausage. Tick, why you here? I was in the closet. Yeah, that was messed up. OMG, Montrose is the worst BF. Sammy was trying his best with the cooking. All Montrose did was complain. This is the thing I think with that. You say Sammy could do better, and that's true. I think Montrose has a problem with his sexuality and he is ashamed of it. So although he liked being with Sammy, when he not horny and he start to think about he's performing homosexual activities, he probably gets mad and takes it out on him because he's ashamed of what he do, which is probably why he used to beat Tick so much, saying you too soft. He probably was feeling that way about himself and projecting onto Tick. I think Montrose is a bad person for Sammy to be with because he is ashamed of what he do, and he may take it out on Sammy and hurt Sammy one time. So, he may not use no lotion. Ba-doom-boom. Let's see. Tamika, I ain't watched Lovecraft, but I'm here for the support. I love you, sis. And you know what? I think that on the weekends, now that especially this Saturday, now that Power's not going, I think I'm gonna stream Lovecraft Country, and we can watch all the episodes. So I ain't gonna watch them all in one day, but I'm gonna start on Twitch putting Lovecraft Country episodes there for you to watch. So make sure you follow me on Twitch because I'm going to start putting different episodes of TV shows on there for you to watch. And I watch them live, comment, answer questions. Make sure you're there. Follow me on Twitch. Let's see. One Journey. So Tick had the same birthmark when he was at that woman that's related to him house. And that's probably what he was looking at in the mirror. When he saw that, and he went and saw that mark and looked in the mirror, he was trying to see if it's the same birthmark, which is true. I just didn't know what kind of mark it was. Rim Rock, Tick made it there in record time. You ain't lying, especially for riding the bus. I mean, he got there so fast and helped everything. I don't know. Let's see. Let me get to some more of these comments. Then I'm going to get ready to get up out of here. Y'all got a lot of comments about Power. Let's see. Oh, no problem, Tamika, girl. You know I love you. Say, where's the proof Tick mother is really dead? Hey, now that's a good question. And probably is not. She's probably not dead. And yeah, that's crazy. I hope we find out what's going on his mother's side. She probably left trying to protect him. She called herself, and it didn't work. What's my favorite Lovecraft episode so far? That's a good question. I do like, man, I have to think about that, man. Best episode. I like the last episode, 6, and I like 5. I'd have to relook at what each episode entailed real quick, and then I'd be able to do it. Hey, support gaming. That's a great example. It is kind of like a Stranger Things, a Black Stranger Things almost. That's pretty close. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't know if it's a replacement, but yeah, that is good. Your favorite is still the first? The first was good, but that wasn't my favorite. I like the second episode better than the first. and they was doing the ceremony and got eviscerated. What's up, sis? How you doing, Carlotta girl? I'm glad you stopped by. Annette, your favorites is 5 and 7. I kind of feel you with that. I like 7. I don't know. It wasn't bad, but I like 6 and I like 5. I like when he got possessed in that basement. That was a crazy episode. Larry Jones, Lovecraft, and Godfather of Harlem are great shows that cover our past and present. Those shows hit so close to home. Lovecraft's always drop little present day facts. Yeah, I like Lovecraft. I like how they integrate history with the present, along with supernatural stuff too. Now I'm gonna give the episode a Moscow, and then I'm gonna get out of here. I don't know if you could tell, but my voice is going. I did a video before this, and I didn't wore myself out on the voice box, but I'ma still finish. So first off, category 1, visuals and cinematography. Excellent visuals, excellent cinematography, just a very well done show. Good camera work. I give it a 20. Okay. I like how they showed all the different places she went, the different backgrounds and sets. Like, this is an expensive show. Storyline and plot. This storyline and plot is just so interesting. It just keeps me interested in what is going on next, what is happening, who is this, what happened to that person. It's very good, and it's put together. It's a lot going on, I will admit, but it is put together where it is followable. And so I'm gonna give the episode a 20 for storyline, plot. Special effects and makeup. The special effects were excellent. The makeup with blood or makeup or whatever's going on is top notch for the show. I really enjoy it. I'm going to give that a 20 as well. And entertainment, fun factor. I like this show. It's entertaining. It's fun to watch. It's good to make you think about stuff with, like, tidbits of how the black woman riding a motorcycle. I wish I remembered her name, but that was real, and other stuff. I just really like. It's entertaining. And so I'm going to give that a 20 as well, which gives this a total Moscow of 80. Okay. I give it an 80. It's a good episode. It's a damn good score. It's entertaining. I'm interested in how it keeps going. And you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, we'll see what's going on. Annette Fagan has some lemon ginger and Ray and nephew rum for your throat. I appreciate it. Been talking too much. The throat, I got throatiosis up in here, girl. I got that throatiosis. But, appreciate you all. You all let me know in the comments what you think about Lovecraft Country in the episode. And I'll see y'all in the next one. I appreciate you all. You've been great. I'm Jay, and I'm out.